impunity. We're not going to let them violate the rule of law, abduct our neighbors without judicial warrants, without identifying themselves, while wearing masks, without due process, grabbing people into cars, taking parents while their kids are in school. We're not going to let that happen. And you can see New Yorkers rising up in that way all over the place. Those folks on Canal Street, they hadn't downloaded the training materials from handsoffnyc.com. They just know it's wrong. And yes, I think there's a real chance that, the history books, when they're written, read that Tom Homan and Donald Trump, when they started losing, was when they came for New York City in the days after New Yorkers elected Zohran Mamdani, our first immigrant mayor in generations, our first Muslim mayor, and said, enough. We are going to defend the values of this extraordinary diverse city, greatest immigrant city the world's ever known, city with the Statue of Liberty out in the harbor. Zohran said it to Donald Trump on election night, turn the volume up. Tom Homan, we're saying to you, you come to New York City, you should expect us to turn the volume up.
Could I ask, a temporary protected status for people from Syria is in front of a judge here, Judge Fela. She's supposed to rule tomorrow after arguments. What are your view on the terminations of these various forms of protection?
Awful. These are the story in the Times about that Afghan individual who supported women's and children's education in Afghanistan and is clearly eligible for asylum because he incredibly fears persecution, and yet the Trump administration wants to take away the status that protects him, wants to take away status from Syrians, to put them back to civil war. Seriously, it is an appalling violation of the Global Convention Against Torture. I'm hopeful that, I will say, there were two federal court rulings yesterday that were more encouraging. One, Joel Kamas, a 16-year-old who we saw get detained 3 weeks ago, was ordered released, and the judge in that case called the government lawyer who wanted to keep him Orwellian. She couldn't decide whether it was Orwellian or Kafkaesque. I say, why not both? And she was just appalled at what the government is doing, detaining this 16-year-old who just wants to be in high school. He's got a right to his due process. And then in the Northern District of New York, and this actually really want to place the state legislators who are here, because a lot of these legislators voted for and passed the Protect Our Courts Act to say New York State is not going to go along with ICE's effort to turn our courts into abduction traps. The Trump administration brought a proceeding trying to preempt that, and the judge is ruling. I really would urge people, the judge is not only does the 10th Amendment clearly give states and cities the right to say we will not be commandeered into your mass deportation regime, but points out that courts have had extra protections in common law going back to the 15th century. That these buildings are supposed to be a place where you can expect the rule of law to be respected, not for your rights to be violated by masked agents who don't present warrants, don't identify themselves, and conduct abductions. So some of these federal judges are stepping up and helping do the right thing to make sure the rule of law is.
But I just want to underscore what Emily said, that this is not about picking off each country. This is about a white supremacist fascist agenda. And we have to call it what it is. Because if you see what he's doing, that is what it is. It is targeting non-white people and shipping them back to their countries. And we have to examine that. And we have to also look at history and what has happened across the globe and call it what it is. So I'm so proud to stand here with my colleagues that are fighting back and with my community that is fighting back every single day against this white supremacist agenda.
Charlotte, can I just ask maybe it's a question for Ron, but what are some of the risks that you're taking by going to trial? I mean, I know it's a misdemeanor case, and why is it worth it to you to take
It's my understanding from my lawyer that we were all charged with the same thing, with a Class C misdemeanor or a petty misdemeanor. Carries the maximum central criminal charge. What we're charged with is obstructing the elevators and the stairwells. But we were all there for the same reason, which is to demand to see what is happening to our neighbors in the detention facilities at 26 Federal Plaza. We all felt it was worth doing that day, the 70 New Yorkers downstairs and the hundreds more who have been protesting even yesterday. This is, we have a platform as elected officials and we think it's important to use it. But what New Yorkers are doing in that tradition, no violence, in that tradition of bearing bearing witness when humanity is violated. Again, the base law we're talking about here is the Global Convention Against Torture. That's the law under which you have the right to seek asylum. And that's all these folks are doing. And if what we had to risk was arrest on that day and 26 Plaza, what I have to risk, would be a Class C federal misdemeanor or a few days, it is worth it to stand up for the values of the city and this country.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks. So there you have it. Judge Fela will be ruling on that case tomorrow, and we'll see what she does. To be continued. InnerCity Press. Not on X, because they're not responding.